Hello everyone, I'm your host Boss Zombie. Welcome back to Knock Knock. So, in my own time, I went back and did some stuff. So you can see here's Giant Monster Man. So apparently this game does have two endings. There's a bad ending and a good ending. The bad ending comes from not finding that girl in the woods and the fragments of reality. Ooh, this is it. Pegurian. Pegurian? Yeah, so in this ending, since he didn't want to leave the house... Ooh, this is the credits. The ending says lock the lodger in the house and don't leave. So that's the bad ending. The good ending, I will show you momentarily. So here is what I need for the good ending. Breaking the circle. Yay! So that's the ending there. That's the good ending. In fact, I think that's the best ending because apparently there's two variations of that. It's like, I think we get one variation if you only find a couple of the fragments of reality, which it's the same thing except instead of like flowery plants, you get like thorns across the house. But the best ending you get if you find all the fragments of reality and interact with the invisible girl or the crying girl, whatever she is. Enough? These are just weird little things. Do these all have stuff? No. But, yeah, these are the credits now. So, this is a weird game. I mean, really weird. Oh boy. There's a lot of stuff here, too. Are these all interactable, or are they just going to show me the credits? Okay, so what my thoughts? As far as plot goes, I'm still a little unclear. But apparently, him staying in the house was making him crazy over time. So breaking the circle implied, like the name of that trophy or achievement, whatever it was. It's like, if he stays in the house in the bad ending, he's just going to keep reliving the same stuff over and over again, where it's just like craziness after craziness. Because this whole game seems to be taking place in one night. So he can't sleep at all. So he goes in, or he wakes up at the beginning of the game. He's up the whole night trying to go back to sleep. He wakes up every hour or so from the nightmares he has with the weird monsters. Then he goes back to sleep. And then if you don't go out of your way to find stuff or interact with things, you just stay in the loop. You can't break out of it. So crazy stays crazy. When you do all the other stuff, there's a lot of people worked on this. When you do all the other stuff, like with the girl and the crying girl and all that, I guess it's an outside influence trying to tell you shit's fucked up and needs to get out. I'm still a little unclear on the whole thing, but that's what I gathered from it at least. This is like Dr. Soul. Ooh. As for who the girl is, no idea. But it seems like okay. This is what I think. I think the big cow skull monster thing in the bed, like because that thing changes if you gather fragments of red. Like if you get to the point on that little circle in the brain where there's the monster, and you don't have enough fragments. I think it's like 5 or less. It's gonna be a big skull man. But if you collect a 6th one, it turns into the girl. So I think the implication there is that the girl and the monster are one and the same. It's the same entity. But, I'm not too sure. It's just like the way he's perceiving them. It's like, if he hasn't seen reality, I guess, that's what the fragments are. If he hasn't seen reality, he's still kind of delusional and insane, and that's how he sees the girl coming to visit him. As like a big scary monster that he doesn't want anything to do with. which is why in that ending he just boards up the house to stay secure and safe in his mind, quote unquote. But when he starts becoming more rational, he actually sees her to a degree for what she is, even though she still kind of looks monstrous when she's approaching the house. Like, her hair looks like tentacles, and she has blood stains on her skirt or dress, and like the crazy like twigs in her. But then when you see her in the good ending, she's just a girl. She's just a normal looking girl, save for the eyes. The eyes are, I wouldn't call them normal, but they're not scary. She just looks like the monster version of her and the ending version of her. She basically goes from like monstrous and unkempt to just like, or monstrous and like disheveled almost, and then in the ending she just looks like a girl that lives in the woods. Really, her dress isn't in the best condition, but it looks pretty okay, and it's not like destroyed and torn or anything. Thoughts on the gameplay? It's definitely an interesting premise. I could certainly do without the stupid timing mechanic, although once you actually understand that you do have limited time, it becomes easy to avoid running out of it. Like in both instances, finishing the game for both endings, I still had like a third of the bar left by the time I got to the end. And it was cool because actually on the corkscrew line in the brain, whenever you go between levels, if you're doing good on time, like you haven't spent long in a level, like at this point I was just rushing to the houses and getting all the clocks I could find, so I'd get 3 or 4 and immediately be done with the level. The levels are more closely packed to each other on that line. Like I even mentioned it on the line, like after the monster the first time you see the monster in the background, that like the gap between the house level and the nightmare level was really wide. That was because I spent so long on that nightmare level that it reflects in the thing. So as long as you keep those packed, you know you're doing well. There's certainly, I mean, I don't know how to put this properly. There's some flaws to the hiding mechanic that sometimes you just simply don't have enough time to hide when something's chasing you. And as I got towards the end of the game, there were like new monsters I hadn't seen even in the previous playthrough that I had on the channel. There was just like this one freaky son of a bitch. It was like a thing doing a handstand, so it's like walking on its hand, but it was walking on its knuckles, and its legs were like bent weird to be like arms, and its butt was aimed at you, like his butt was where its face would be, but it wasn't like rearranged. It was just literally doing a handstand. That thing was super fast, first of all, and could follow you upstairs and all around, and like I got lucky once it spawned on like the other side of a locked door and it couldn't go through it. Like I've seen the other monsters go through doors, like they just turn to ghosts and fade right through. That thing couldn't though. But that was a tough guy because I ran into him a couple times and he's almost impossible to avoid. And then there's problems with like, I would understand the hiding mechanic if it was certain that if you like hid in a room when there was no monster in it and the monster came in, you'd successfully hide. But there would just be some times when I'd hide and the thing would immediately spot me. I don't know. And also, the doppelganger was weird. I ran into different kinds of doppelgangers, so the ones in my recorded playthrough were all like hostile ones that chased me down. And since they move at the speed I can move at my like maximum when there's lights on, I couldn't get away from them. But I met I guess you'd call it a neutral doppelganger that was just like going around the house and looked like it was trying to do things that I would do, like it was turning on lights even though those lights were already on, so like it wouldn't do anything, and it was like unlocking doors that were already unlocked. And at one point I touched it and lost a bit of time and then like fused with it and I got a trophy for that, weirdly enough. So I'm sure there's still some stuff in this game I haven't seen, like there must be enemy types and things like that. But yeah, the hiding mechanic is kind of iffy. And I understand this is an indie game, but Jesus Christ, we're only in the S's after all this talking I've done? This is a giant team. I thought this was like a dozen or so people. This sombrero kid. So, yeah, I mean, that basically, it kind of shows that a mechanic is flawed if I had to, like, abuse another mechanic to win. Because most of the time, I would just hide on the ladder. I would go up and down the ladder. If you stay on the ladder without getting off, like you just keep pressing up and down, so your guys is constantly moving up and down the ladder, it's impossible for anything to catch you. And even the monsters that like go upstairs, like the doppelganger and the weird butt face, or handstand man, I guess is a better name for him. They get stuck on their floor and they can't go on the ladder until you're off the ladder. So if you're getting chased by whenever I would get chased by one, I would just go up a ladder and just stay on the ladder till the end of the night. Which, I mean, it's cheese tactics, but whatever it takes, right? I didn't want to have to do everything over again. God, I'm just trying to... Oh, now there's a whole nother list of alphabetical stuff? I'm just trying to vent here to go through the credits, see if anything happens. It doesn't look like this is going to end anytime soon, so I may just cut and then cut back once at the end of the credits just to see if anything happened. So, you know, you don't have to sit through the movie theater to see the cutscene at the end of the Captain America movie type thing. So, yeah, I'll be back. Oh! Is this the end? This was the end. This was a special thanks. That's usually at the end. People like us. Vicky Benet. Hasselblood. Cool name. Alright, now what? Nothing? I just sit here for all eternity? Is this some old NES level bullshit where it's like, if you turn off the game, you're gonna restart at the end of the game? There's no new game plus or anything, or it doesn't even let you leave the quit screen. Any buttons do anything? Oh yeah, main menu. Oh, well, how about that? So this episode's a little shorter than normal, but you know, it is what it is. So thanks for joining me. Come back, I'll have the next stuff up real soon. But until then, bye.